Are you struggling with feeling stuck in your life journey? Does it seem as if the challenges or conflicts that you keep experiencing are on repeat? Healing through feeling could be your new way through to a more satisfying life. Now, here is the host of the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide, Sharyn Nichols.
Welcome, everyone, to today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. And today's topic is surrender versus resistance. Oh, that word surrender, it's dual meaning. It has a positive and a negative, at least in my head. And I think it's really important that we focus on the positive, because in the West, we have this belief that surrendering is defeat, it's giving up. Whereas in the East, there's the two distinctions. Another way of looking at the definition of surrender is it's freedom, it's allowing, it's letting go. So today, I just jumped right in because I'm just so excited. I've been, as you know, I've been stating for the longest time is that each of these topics are with me for the entire week. And so I've been with surrender and resistance, and then even avoidance got thrown in there somewhere. And so I completely threw myself off and then brought myself back, although I will bring it all back around in the next segment. So, forgot to tell you about me. I am Sharyn Nichols, a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I would love to hear from you. I would love for you to reach out. You can find me through my website at feeltoheal.com, and please, for sure, send an email to SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com. I so love working with people and giving you different perspectives on how you can view your life and how things can possibly change for the better. And then allowing yourself to feel all that you need to feel in order to heal. Because this is all about allowing yourself to have all of your feelings, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all that go along with just being a human being. So before I get into the fullness of the entire show, I want to start with a medium to long, short meditation, somewhere in there. I've shortened it and from its original form, and I just think it's really important that we start with a meditation, and this meditation is about releasing and surrendering. So let's all receive a breath, a deep, deep breath. And when you're ready, allow your eyes to close. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, noticing the difference in the temperature in the air as it comes in and comes out. Inhaling just a little bit longer, exhaling just a little bit more. Receiving one big, huge, deep breath and allowing the in-breath to come and expand your lungs and your belly, and hold it for a moment. Letting it all out and allowing yourself back to normal breathing. Now I'd like for you to imagine for a second that you're standing outside of yourself, looking at the position that you are in right now, just observing and noticing how relaxed you look. And you may want to imagine your mind, that you see yourself in your mind's eye, reaching out your hand as if you're holding something in it. And I want you to think about anything that might be happening in your life that you're trying to control, that you're trying to manage, that you're trying to make perfect. And feel that struggle. Feel the pain and the tension of that control. Now, with your arms still out, I want you to see each of these things as if they are little marbles that get placed into your hand, one by one. Maybe it's your schedule or what's generally happening in the world right now, or someone's behavior or attitude that you are trying to change. Identify each one as a little marble. Receiving a breath. And now closing your hand around these marbles. Try to hold on to them to prevent them from falling so that you can feel safe and secure. I want you to see yourself squeezing these marbles in your hand and feeling the tension and even the pain that you might be experiencing in your hand, in your fist, your arm, and even in your body. Receiving a breath and breathing in love, compassion, and grace for yourself. And on each breath out, I want you to watch as your hand begins to open. Inhaling love and compassion and grace. Exhaling and watching as your hand opens and each marble begins to fall. Exhale. And on your last breath in, breathing in grace and understanding for yourself. As you exhale, feel all the remaining tension and all of those marbles release. Now look back down at your hand and see it is empty. Allowing your breath to be normal. Inhale. Exhale. Noticing how much lighter you feel in this moment. And just be here with me now. This moment is all that exists right now. All the marbles have rolled away. You are here. Surrender to this moment. Surrender to what is. Inhale. And on your exhale, relax deeper into the knowing that you are perfect in this moment, just the way you are. And when you are ready, allowing your eyes to open and be present right here, right now. In this moment. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that meditation was so opening and releasing and just allowing of yourself to just be present. Because the only way to truly be in surrender is to actually be present. Surrendering to the moment, to the right here, right now. It's all we have. I feel like an incredible broken record, and I'm okay with that because every time I say it, I hear it, and I remind myself the only way to be is to be present. Being a human being, being present, a human doing allows you to do something. And yes, you can be present in your doing, although you're being a human doing and not a human being. And adulting requires us to do, to be. So it's about surrendering to the being, and then the doing will just follow. I chose this topic because I believe that we spend way too much time avoiding defeat rather than embracing freedom. Like, we're in such resistance to change. We're in such resistance to moving off of our position because it's all we have sometimes, or at least that's what our mind thinks. Our mind thinks that all we have is our position. And our position could be based on the past. Our position could be based on something that worked for us one time, that when we did it again on repeat, didn't work. Or our position could be that of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Gosh, could you imagine what would happen if you actually surrendered and stopped trying to do the same thing over and over again? That's not admitting defeat. It's just changing course. It's allowing for a new outcome. It's allowing yourself to actually be in the present moment. Not worrying about the past, worrying about the future, being stuck in the past, focusing on the past, or worrying about the past, or bringing your past into your future. All these things that our mind does for us. We are the best at driving ourselves insane. And on that note, I'm going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to dive into even deeper into surrender and resistance. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, and we are talking about surrender and resistance. And I look forward to seeing you back from break.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols Show with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. Today's topic is surrender versus resistance. And in the segment before, I did a little meditation and started talking about surrender and how it can be viewed two ways, one as in defeat or one as in freedom and allowing and letting go. So I always, for myself, the place where I like to start is by looking at the definition of each of the words, because I am all about the words. I am all about how we speak to ourselves, how we speak to each other. I know I did a whole entire show on apologizing and saying I'm sorry, and the and the but. And so therefore, language is so important. Meaning to words and how we and what we say is so important. So surrender, the definition is to cease resistance to an enemy or opponent and submit to their authority. So it's not that surrender is without risk, it is risky. Surrender entails trusting that your partner will not reject, frustrate, or ignore your needs. Surrender also involves relinquishing self-control, letting go of yourself, letting go of self-control. So here's the thing, people. Here's the big secret. You ready? Change is always happening. This is where I have 100% control over no control. So I have 100% control, always, over not having any control. And I have truly surrendered to that. I, for the most part, welcome change, because a lot of the time I'm having a feeling and I'm not always happy with the feeling. So I want to feel differently. So then therefore I start looking, and I think one of the things I read is, you're feeling sad. So you go onto Facebook and you start scrolling through and you see everybody posting all of the happy things that are going on with their family. So if you don't compare, which is a whole other issue, not going to talk about right now. If you don't compare and you just allow yourself to shift your mood, it's amazing what you can do and how you can then feel just by allowing the change and not being stuck where you are in your belief system. Exhale on my end. So let's talk a little bit about resistance. Resistance stems from fear. And for many of us, fear is caused by change. It's that big word again. The CHANGE, change. It's a really important word. It's constantly happening. Because in order for you to always be present, you must change. Meaning, you can't be stuck in the past or worrying about the future. So it's always a choice. And so me being present right now and recording this incredible podcast, I can't be thinking about what I want to do tomorrow. I can't even be thinking about what I said an hour ago prior to becoming live. I have to just let it all go. I have to surrender in a positive way. You know what? It's not even I have to. I get to. I get to release, let go, allow. Isn't that a much better way of looking at surrender than being anchored in the belief that it's defeatist and that thinking a lot about this. And, I know I've mentioned about my relationship with my current boyfriend and our joke about that. And in the very beginning of our relationship, I had to surrender to how I thought it was supposed to look. I had to not resist his behaviors. I had to keep checking in with myself. Was I in resistance, or was I surrendering, or was I? Let me take that back. I'm going to bring it back around. Meaning, with regards to surrender, was I allowing, or was I being defeatist? Was I waving the white flag? And I was going back and forth and teetering within myself, because my whole entire life, surrender meant giving up and not persevering and not pushing through and not sticking with my convictions. And so there were moments, and there were probably plenty of times where a lot of my friends said, "Why are you still with him? Why would you be with someone who says this, who treats you, whatever, doesn't matter now," because I heard what they had to say. And then I put it through my new filter of, is this me in resistance to actually having what it is that I want? Am I now sabotaging myself with my own thoughts? And even how I present it, even how I presented it to my friends. Again, going through my filter. Do I need to be strong? I am woman, hear me roar. Or, well, love my accent. Or do I just get to be in the allowing and be in the noticing and just be present and not bring all of the thoughts and the feelings that I had in the past and how I was treated in the past? Allowing the change within myself. He kept showing up exactly as who he is and who he was, and I am so grateful for that. Because then it gave me the opportunity also to keep showing up as myself, the way that I am, and the way that I've always wanted to be. I didn't have to be wishy-washy. I just held this line for myself. And I learned when to speak, when not to speak. And it's been this wonderful weaving of growth and change. I am always being given the opportunity, just like you are always being given the opportunity to show up differently, to allow the change, to surrender with freedom, with openness, and not be resistant to it. Because resistance gets you in all kinds of trouble. So, always being given an opportunity, each moment, right here, right now. Be present. Allow. Even when the shitty stuff happens and the universe throws you crap, the world is falling apart around you. Change is always happening, as simple as even right now. Moment. And yes, I changed my tone of voice. Change always happening. Me whispering meant that you had to listen. Change. Listen more intently. Change. Embrace the change. I know in the past I've talked about the fact that I pull an animal spirit card and before the show, and today's was so fitting. It is, for those of you who can see, it is Chameleon Spirit. And this is the Colette Baron Reed, the Spirit Animal Oracle. And I just have to read this because it is so important. She says, Chameleon Spirit, act as if. Chameleon Spirit shares her gift with you today to prepare you for changes that will greatly benefit you. Outer conditions are changing, and you're required to come into harmony with them so you can co-create your greatest dream. Feeling sensitive? Good, because that will come in handy, enabling you to determine how best to adapt to your environment and the people in it, while at the same time maintaining your integrity and inner equilibrium. Even if you feel like you're in uncharted territory, Chameleon Spirit has complete faith in your ability to fit in and learn the lay of the land. Adapting as necessary. This is a fortunate time to act as if, or do as others do, until the new ways feel familiar and completely natural. Life is offering you a great lesson now. Adapting isn't about losing yourself. It's about learning how to dance with others. We do not exist alone on an island. We do not even exist in a bubble. We've tried very hard to create our own bubbles by not changing, by staying stuck in one spot. Except guess what happens? All bubbles burst. They just do. You can try and hold on with all of your might and not get the bubble to burst. And it will. Because change is always happening. And you always have a choice, whether to embrace it, surrender to it, or whether to resist it and cause even more constriction. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. And I am just so excited. In case you couldn't tell, I am very passionate about change. And thank you so much for listening to me. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to continue on this topic of change. Surrender.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning into the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. And I'm so excited that you are here because I am so excited for you to embrace change. I am so excited for you to embrace surrendering, because surrender can feel so peaceful, and it can also be accompanied by a sense of relief and letting go of all those feelings of hopelessness and helplessness. And it's not about defeat. It's actually about strength and anchoring in that strength that you actually have. The strength that you allow for yourself and anchor in and just know that you have when you embrace the change, rather than seeing it as the negative, seeing it as the positive. It's not about the extremes. It's about allowing, because giving up can feel intense and it can feel as though everything is just not black and white, and it doesn't have to be. There's always those incredible, wonderful shades of gray. So it's not defeatist, or even, and now I know I keep saying about the freedom and the allowing. There's the the mixture, the gray. It's about you taking little baby steps and allowing. It's about the ebb and the flow. The ebb and the flow. And for those of you who can't see me, I'm ebbing and flowing. I'm moving my body because I am just so excited about this topic. Surrender can also be seen as something that you take your time with. It doesn't have to be immediate. So let's ride your wave. Let's ride your wave, because once you have that clarity, you can then make the decision. And then maybe it won't feel as defeatist, because you've actually given yourself the time to have the feelings that you are feeling and riding out your wave. So how do you know if you're surrendering or whether you're giving up? How do you know? Well, I think that surrendering is the allowing, and the giving up is if you feel defeatist. So, can you actually never really give up? Is it just about the allowing? It's just about, it's not the black and the white. Let's get out of the black and white thinking. It's truly about, again, being in the present moment. Ride the wave if you need to. Surrendering is allowing yourself to be present, not worrying about the future, being stuck in the past. It's truly about being present, because if you can be present, then change is always happening and you're not stuck, because you're not stuck worrying about the future. You're not stuck in the past. Being present allows change to happen the easiest. Being present allows for the surrender. So that's how you know whether you're surrendering or whether you're being defeatist. Ride your wave before making a decision, and then check in with your gut. I'm just going to breathe for a second, because I'm getting myself all riled up, because I'm just getting so excited about all the change that is happening. You have so much more control over change than you actually think you do. Let's think about that for a moment, because it's truly about control. So surrender and resistance, fear, control. So surrender is also fear, the negative part of surrender, or the lower based energy of surrender, is what others are going to think of you. Are you now going to feel shame? Those are all things to be stuck from the past. Feeling shame is something that you felt in the past. If you're actually in the present moment, okay. If you're ashamed, then, and there's something that you need to apologize for because you did something or said something or even thought something wrong, and I'm putting that in the air quote thing, even though not supposed to be doing the air quote thing, because wrong is not wrong. Even if please, I beg of you to allow the change and surrender to yourself, and to just allow you to just be you. So, surrender. The difference in feeling between surrender and giving up. Surrender could also mean that you don't have all the answers. Again, that's not really true. You do have all the answers. Our ego just gets in the way and we think we don't know anything. That's not true. You know so much. You know you better than anybody possibly can. So you can talk yourself into something and you could talk yourself out of something. And again, that's the past and the future. And let's just be present. Let's look at a new perspective. Let's take any situation and look at it differently. So that's like I was saying, at the beginning of my relationship, he kept giving me all these different opportunities to do something different. He didn't even know it. He had no clue because, again, these are all things going on in my head. And the biggest thing that I got was he was doing the exact same thing. He had his own host of things that he needed to surrender to and not resist and just be in the allowing. So here's another word I'm going to throw out. Patience. Patience is really important. You need to have patience with yourself in order to allow yourself to be present, because your mind is going to always try and pull you out. Your mind, your ego is always going to tell you no or yes. And so bring it back. Bring it back. Always to the center, to your heart. Remember, no decisions should really be made from your head. The answers are not in your head. The answers are in your gut. They're in your heart. Once you ride your wave, there's even just this little feeling that you may feel in the side. Not in your head. So stop talking yourself in and out of things that aren't for your highest good, because you don't believe, and you can fill in the blank. Surrender invites the universe to bring to you newness, to the allowing, because nature abhors a vacuum. And I'm sure we've heard, I'm assuming you've heard this before, that when one door closes, another door opens, or when you close a window, a door will open, something to that effect, where change is always happening. And so embracing the change, surrendering to the change will allow. And surrender also involves you continuing to take action steps. Doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. That's where the control can be. You can control the change by doing something different, changing your action or reaction to all the thoughts and the feelings that you are having. It's just shifting your energy. It's about placing your attention where you want it to be amplified, more on the higher based frequencies rather than the lower based. So, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. And today's topic has been surrender versus resistance. Well, and I'm going to say equals change. It's just, that's the equation. So when we come back from break, we are going to talk a lot more about this, although I'm going to give you some solutions or tips or some sort of exercises in some ways that you can maybe overcome your resistance to change. See you back in a moment.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, licensed marriage and family therapist. And today's topic is one that has been near and dear to my heart for the longest time, and I didn't really quite know why. So I am so grateful for this opportunity to speak about this, for me to actually put it into a perspective that makes sense to my brain, and therefore then I'm hoping and assuming that it's making sense to you as well. So some ways to overcome your resistance to change. First and foremost, you got to be honest with yourself. Ask yourself what it is that you're actually really resisting. Are you resisting trying something new because you're afraid? Or are you resisting doing something because you know it's actually not really the best thing for you? Learn to be more open and flexible, because change, like I've said a million times already during this show, change happens whether you want it to or not. It is happening always and in all ways. That bubble is absolutely going to burst. So if you can be open and be in the allowing of change, it'll be so much easier. Hold on loosely, but don't let go. If you cling too tightly, you lose control. That's why in the meditation, I had you imagine holding those marbles so tight so it fully constricts your arm and goes all the way down your body. And so you feel the total tension. And there's nowhere to go. We need to flow. We need to be free and be in the allowing. So what's in your hands and what's out of your hands? What do you actually really have control over? I know that sounds, well, I shouldn't say I know. As I said that, I heard myself say it, and you have so much more in your hands, and you also have so much more out of your hands. So it's truly about letting go of control. I know it's a novel concept. Realize that you might not actually fear change. That it actually might be a fear of loss. Because doing something different could be letting go of something that either is serving you or not serving you. You know, even if things are going really well, I mean, like, this just popped in my head, the advertisements for, I'm going to pick Tide. Tide's been around for, I'm assuming at least 40, 50 years, could be longer. Don't know how long. But every couple of years or so, it's new and improved. They have new labeling, new packaging, new and improved. So it's changed. Although I have a funny feeling the original formula was pretty good. Although it's now new and improved multiple levels for multiple reasons. It's been around since 1946. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for putting that in the chat. So it's been around for a pretty long time. And though it's constantly new and improved, although it's soap, it's detergent. How can that actually be? That it's constantly being new and improved. Soap hasn't really changed. So it's okay to embrace. It's okay to change. It's okay to improve upon something that already is good. And that's where the fear of the loss can also come in, because what if something is really, really good and you let it go? But then again, it's possible that it could be new and improved. It could even be better, except we're so afraid that it won't be better that we hold on so tightly. So here's another thing that's really, really important, is to allow yourself to have a beginner's mind. It's okay to not know. It's okay to let go and surrender to the unknown. It's okay to not know something. It's okay to learn something new, to be in the allowing. And something that I do a lot in therapy and in psychology with my clients is I prescribe the symptom. So if they're in resistance to something, I tell them to go full on out. Just resist it. Don't do it. Don't make it happen. Really hate it. Do that full on out. And then I found, as I'm assuming you would if you tried this, that it then becomes so much easier to let it go, because you realize how limiting that is. And the last thing is choose to believe that change serves you, that it's always happening for your highest good, and that you surrendering is always for your highest good. I couldn't imagine now not doing this show. It has been one of the most incredible things that I said yes to, that I allowed the fear, I allowed the change, I surrendered to myself and to you, all of my wonderful listeners, the allowing of myself to just continue to unfold, to continue to be. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show this week. And we've been talking about change, surrender versus resistance. And I'm so excited for next week's show. It's going to be all about labeling. Can you put down your label maker? Throw it away. We don't need it. It doesn't serve us. Labels don't always serve us. So I look forward to seeing you all back next week. I hope you have an incredible week, and you might as well just be yourselves, because everyone else is taken. And please allow yourself to just surrender, be in the flow. And please reach out to me at feeltoheal.com, my website, or Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com, my email address. Have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for tuning in and allowing yourselves to let go and surrender.
Thank you for choosing to listen to the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show. Sharyn Nichols will return next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, Give up the struggle, feel all you need to feel, and make this week your best one yet.